everyone, Mike from CMR here. You may have noticed I've been a little quiet on the channel lately. Part of that's because my main editing machine has been getting a little gutless. Namely, the power supply has gone from about 600 watts, which was its original manufacturer rated power, and now it's doing about 200. Basically, it means I went from having 2 graphics cards in SLI down to only being able to run 1 graphics card by itself. And recently it got so bad that I could only run that 1 graphics card at half power. I actually had to underclock the card just to keep the system from randomly turning off. So the other thing that I've done lately is I've moved. That's been fun. Nice new studio space, a little smaller but yet bigger. As you can see, there are still boxes piled high right over my shoulder that'll need to get dealt with at some point or reused. My desk is now in a little bit of a cubby, a little bit of a walk-in closet is what it used to be. And I have a little more space out in my main studio area. The challenge is, I had my computer in a rack mount case. That worked great when I had lots of wide space to take up for my desk. I don't have that anymore. So I decided, seeing as I was going to have to replace the power supply anyway, now would be a real good time to move from the server case that I was using back to the tower case that I had used before. I figured it was a good time to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on what that machine is made of. One thing to note, like Rome, this system was not built in a day. The parts have been accumulated over time. In fact, this computer has a legacy going all the way back to the 90s. So let's get into the breakdown. So at the heart of this system, we have an Intel Core i7-3770 at a stock 3.4 GHz quad core with hyperthreading. And that processor is installed on this lovely Intel motherboard, a little bit older, but it still has the features I need to do my job. 32 gigs. Memory is important, people. Now, if only I could find a way to add a little more up here. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. What type of graphics card does Mike use? Well, glad you asked. Mike uses 2 EVGA nVidia GTX 660s in SLI. These 2 lovely cards do just about everything I need. They are fan cooled. These have a very minor overclock. We're talking less than 10%. All my lovely storage is housed on a single Samsung 256GB SSD for my boot drive. All the video and games are stored on this RAID 10 array made up of 4 Western Digital 2TB hard drives. And now it's time for one of the most controversial parts of this system that I've heard a lot of flack about. It's running Windows 10. I like Windows 10. I have had little to no issues with Windows 10. It runs better than Windows 7, 8, and 8.1. Yes, I said it. 'Cause it's true. Yeah, every now and then you'll run into an issue. Driver update borks something. That happens. Microsoft can't be expected to build a piece of software that will work with pretty much any manufacturer's hardware, including manufacturers that don't actually understand specifications and don't actually follow standards, but yet somehow they make operating software that uses just about anybody's hardware, even if they don't follow standards. Good job, Microsoft. Anyways, that's my system. It's set up beautifully in this lovely black case. I've got a few extra little features on the front. Namely, I've got hot swappable hard disk cradle where I can actually insert a normal 3.5 inch or a small 2.5 drive directly into the front of my computer. This works great if you've got to work with Blackmagic footage straight off an SSD, or if someone's just handed you a hard drive. I've also got, of course, a media card reader. I shoot on a Canon T4i, so I have SD cards of my own. And lastly, I have this little fan controller that helps keep the dull roar down by cycling down the fans to a lower speed when they're not needed. So, can I edit 4K on this system? Totally. I use proxies. I've even done a time or two where I'll play with some red footage. Same thing. You proxy it down, you do your edit, then you bring back your full online versions, and it looks glorious. So, thank you very much for watching. Till next time, that's a wrap.